I was going to attempt to break down this video into various segments uh, to explain this subject of what makes a great martial arts master. But I'll just clump it all together, and I believe that you'll get the gist of what I'm saying for the most part. The context, I hope. First of all, what makes a martial arts instructor a great martial artist is, first of all, being dedicated to your craft, unwavering in the study, pursuit, training, and being diligent in your art. That's saying a lot. It's easy to say that. Words can be very powerful. But when you follow the things that you say, that's what makes the difference. Talking about what you are and what you're going to do is one thing, but true application is another. Applying it in your life. That's everything, not just simply martial arts. So first of all, you have to be prepared to be on the journey. And once you embark on this journey, you must realize that it requires something of you. Some work, some hard work, some dedication to your training, to garner the best perfection that you can pull out of yourself as a person, first and foremost. Always understanding and realizing that someone is always watching you. And if it's a trained eye or someone who's been around before you as long as you, they know what's real and what's not. In other words, they know if you're just faking the funk. They know if you're actually sincere about what you're doing. And it will show. And the other thing that makes you a great martial arts master or instructor is to stay on top of your syllabus, your training, from the outset, when you first began, until you can no longer do it any longer. I've seen so many martial arts instructors who start out enthusiastic, very excited about learning the art, but somehow or another, at some point in their lives, they reach a juncture where they stop, or they don't train as much. And as far as American martial artists go, I can say this from my own experience: you get tired sometimes. You get lazy sometimes as you're aging, especially. You don't feel like going to the dojo or getting up and jumping rope, lifting weights, push-ups, sit-ups, running through katas and sparring sessions and so forth, and even teaching. You get tired. It takes a heck of a person to maintain that and to continue that throughout their martial arts lives. But that makes you a great martial artist. Devotion to your craft. Now, understand this, comprehend this. Martial arts is a lifelong endeavor, and it does not cease until you can no longer do it. That's the way, that's the way it's supposed to be. So that was the other thing that makes you a great martial arts master. But another thing that I hold dear to my heart is the ability to teach. Everyone, because they have rank in a particular system or style, does not make you good at it. Because we are all different. Everyone is not born to be a teacher. And I do mean that sincerely. Born. There are some of us that are born to be teachers. Not to pat myself on the back, but I'm one of them. I've been in the martial arts 50 plus years now, and I have not ceased, and I still teach. There are some people who fall off. There are martial arts instructors who allow themselves to get out of shape, they will let someone underneath them teach. Now, notwithstanding, I do understand health issues and uh, physical issues and malady and so forth. You have a problem. I'm not talking about instructors that have physical ailments, things that are beyond their control. I'm talking about people who can get up and do something, who just simply won't, or they get tired of doing it. That's no excuse. As I say, there's no excuse not to stay on top of your training. And I did mention, unless you have some medical issue that's beyond your control, that's a no-brainer. Should be anyway. But you have to represent your art. And I believe that there is never an excuse outside of you dying or you having a medical issue for you not to train and stay on top of that, because people are looking up at you, especially your students, and even the general public. When you say that this is what I am and this is what I represent, people expect you to do what you say, and they expect you to deliver what you say you are. I do know, and this is one of my expressions, the conditions of life, or life happens. We all have certain circumstances and situations that occur in our lives at some point in time, and we might fall off for a minute because we're human beings, but we must get back up. Never stay down. And I'm encouraging you today, if you've ever been discouraged because of something that you were going through in your life, be encouraged and hang in there and get back up and continue to move forward. Another thing that makes a martial artist who is a master great is their ability to teach different types of students. I cannot overemphasize this enough. Everyone is not the same. People come with all types of circumstances when they walk into your door. They are tall, short, thin, frail, overweight, and even obese. Sometimes with limitations. They can't do the splits. They don't have very much wind. They might have some pre-existing condition and so forth. Or they may even be a little slow picking up things that you're trying to convey to them. You might have to repeat something to one person a couple times and they pick it up, and another person 100 times, and another one even many more times that. But you must learn to have patience. This is part of your character development and or building as well, instructors. That's just simply the way it is. That's the job that you have before you, is to pass this information on to the next generation. And that generation doesn't necessarily have to be your family per se, but the next martial arts generation, or your next systems generation, or the next generation of human beings, so they can pass it on to their family and loved ones as well, because it's something that will benefit you for the rest of your life. It's not something that you can pick up and put down. And I've said this before, martial arts is not a hobby. Some have taken it up as a hobby, but that's not what it is. If you've taken it up as a hobby, then it's really not martial arts. Anytime you get really serious about it, into learning the true essence and true spirituality of martial arts, then you'll find that it's not really a hobby, that you actually are on the journey. This is my life. I've done this since the age of 10, and I'll be 62 this year. I've never stopped. I've never had a break, never took a day off, a year off, a month off. I've consistently been training, teaching, studying, learning, and I'm still a student of life. I don't know everything, but what I do know, I share that to the best of my ability. So, The real test of a true martial arts master was the topic of this particular video segment. That's the real test. Perseverance, patience, stick-to-itness, if you will. Never giving up. That's the real test. So it doesn't matter what you go through in your life more than how you end up. That's everything, not just martial arts. That's every aspect of your life. So how did you end up? Better is the end of a thing than its beginning. Your beginning might have been or may be very rough. But what's the conclusion? That's what we need to focus on. How did I end? Where do I stand right now after I've gone this distance? Am I better than yesterday? Am I better than last week, last month, the past year, the past decade? Have I improved as a human being? Not so much as a martial artist, but as a human being. The whole package. That was my take, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you gleaned something from this video. Those of you that are martial artists, aspiring martial artists, practitioners, masters and grandmasters and so forth, and even just the general public, I hope that you have learned some basics about life from this video. Don't let it get you down. The struggle is part of the journey. It is. It's not what happens to you. It's how you deal with what happens to you. That's it. And that's all. Much love. This is Brother Teacher. I'll see you next time. So long.